Yesterday, I was at a graveside burial, and one of the people afterwards was telling me that he hasn't been to church in decades, and that he's convinced that when he goes back to church someday, if ever, that he knows what's going to happen. He knows that if he goes into a church, God is going to strike him dead with lightning. I'm sure many of you have heard people say things like that before, and while it might seem funny, after reading the devotion from Water and Spirit, I am convinced that there's nothing funny about people feeling that way. I was hoping that this person was going to say that he would be welcomed with open arms, that it was going to be like a prodigal son experience. But instead, he was convinced that he would be met with judgment and condemnation. And maybe he's right. Maybe we as the church have done a really great job of condemning and judging people, whether it's explicitly or, quietly in our minds. We are really good at judging people. But the devotion today reminds us that none of us are too far gone, that we are all worthy of God's love, that there's nothing that can separate us from God, that even if you're really, really made a ton of mistakes, that's still okay, that God will still love us. There's always redemption with God because we are children of God. God created us in God's image. We are all worthy of God's love. So today's devotion challenges me to think about all of the ways that I judge or condemn people and the ways that I judge and condemn myself. I think we're good at that too, judging ourselves and feeling like we should be ashamed of certain aspects of our lives or embarrassed by things. And God tells us, no, don't be embarrassed. I love you just the way you are. You are enough. You are worthy.